this is Chantal Steinberg. I'm high up on the Cheviot, training for the Montane Slide Challenger North in January. Currently battling some windy, wintry, spiny, thigh deep snowy drifts. Good training. I'm here to welcome you to the Tea and Trails podcast with Gary Thwaites and Eddie Sutton. Enjoy!
I went to a spin class last night.
I wondered what the cardio sandwich was.
It was brilliant. What's that song? You go, you shoot me down, but I won't fall.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
I
one.
am titanium. If you go to a gym and they don't play that song, I think you should just cancel your membership immediately.
Just leave straight away.
We had Jay-Z, New York. That was the cool down. We had a bit of Kanye West. It was,
Did you do it with,
it was incredible.
Is this in your new fancy gym?
It's new. I wouldn't say it's particularly fancy. Yeah, so there was myself, Robbo, another friend, Gary, and Robbo's wife, Lisa, and Lisa's daughter. So, yeah, much more sociable
That's good.
experience.
That's nice.
Yay, it was fun times.
Hello and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast. Thanks so much for turning us on, tuning in, pressing play, or maybe just being forced to listen to by your parents or your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, brother, sister, whoever you are a rock star. Thank you for the intro, Chantal, coming live from the Cheviots. Conditions looked perfect. Not often perfect up there. Have you been on the Cheviots, Gary?
Oh, yeah, loads. We used to go with Sedgefield Harriers. They did every year around about February, so picked probably the worst time of year for it. But we used to go to Mount Hooley in the little bunkhouse. Incredible. We used to have a training weekend. Oh, yeah, the Shield. I know it all.
Oh, you know it all. Keep those intros coming. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com. Hello. I thought I'd spice it up a bit with the intro this week because I saw a comment when someone said started listening to this, no idea what they're talking about. So if this is the first time you're tuning in, I thought I'd give you a little background. So we're the best trail running Twitterers. Twitterers is a word that I coined when I used to do a lot of football runs back in France with the car full of footballers, and they didn't stop talking from the time that I would leave the village till I got to the next village, and they would Twitter the whole way, mainly in French.
You claiming to have invented the word Twitterers?
I used it in the context of people that don't draw a breath and just carry on talking and talking and talking. And so I used to get in the car and the twittering would start about Tottenham for about 40 minutes. Mainly in French. I couldn't really understand what was going on anyway, so I was very happy. Anyway, in case you're new here, I'm Eddie Sutton, and I do have a co-host. He's called Gary Thwaites. He's a bit of all right. We've been churning out this podcast now for 3 or 5 years, depending on which podcast you go to. We had a Facebook anniversary. Did you get that notification?
I did, yeah. A friend shared it with me. 3 years of Tea and Trails.
Still amazes us every week that people listen and download, but so we thank you for that. We talk all about our running adventures in the hope you might find a bit of solace in the fact that no one has everything sorted. And though we've both been at this running and family life juggle for hundreds of years, Gary more years than me, we never get it right. I am speaking for myself there, but I didn't want to leave you out there, Gary.
I can concur.
We hope to share the ups, downs, highs, lows, perhaps a few chicken nuggets. Veggie options are available. Of things we've learned or stolen from other people along the way. Every week we also heavily bribe a guest to come and talk to us, and these are the ones you really should listen to. Some amazing stories from everybody out on the trail. We like to think, even though it's just Gary and I here at Tea and Trails Towers, that you, the listener, are here for the ride with us, and for that we are ever grateful. And so we should start with saying a special big portion of love. You get special love to our Patreons. So the price of £3.50. So I did a little search, Gary, because we used to say for the price of a cuppa.
I've been really impressed by your script tinkering this week. Incredible.
Thanks. I thought that we can do better than the price of a cuppa because it's £3.50. So I had a little research into what you can get for £3.50. The absolute classic. This is my kids' favourite thing to do. The Tesco meal deal. £3.50. Sandwich, snack and a drink. What do you go for?
Ooh, it depends when I'm purchasing the meal deal. If it's when I'm not hungry, I'll go healthy.
Is there a healthy meal deal option?
Well, I like a falafel wrap. That's a go-to.
Okay.
I like some salt and vinegar squares. I like a Purdy's. If it's Tesco, I'll go for a Purdy's.
What's a Purdy's?
I don't think it's claimed to be healthy, but it's like a mineral drink. So you've got lots of vitamins in there, but it's fizzy. I love a cold fizzy drink. If it's after a run, the dirtier.
Oh my God, the dirtier the better. I don't really get the meal deal because there's nothing I can eat in it, but I'll go the kids one is the all day breakfast. the smell of that. The all-day breakfast with probably a Doritos extra large potty pack and then an iron brew. I mean, it's terrible.
Iron brew.
It's terrible.
I nearly bought Iron brew. Celebration for the Scots getting to the World Cup.
Oh my God.
The sausage, the breakfast sandwich, it just doesn't look good. It's not good.
I don't know where that sausage is from. I don't want to know. Anyway, if I've got to bribe one to like sit in the car and wait for another one who's doing something else, the Tesco meal deal I go like, come on, let's go Tesco's, get meal deal. Ready to make Galaxy Frappe iced coffee, £3.50. I thought that was quite a good deal because if you go in Starbucks and you get like a fancy latte, I think they're like £4-6 now.
Wow. Okay. See, I have a problem with takeout coffees because I like to sit in and have the ritual. So as much as I'm not a fan of Starbucks, I will sit in and pay the big bucks because I don't want to have a cup of coffee and walk around the street with it.
I totally agree. And I often go to a coffee chain when once a week when one of the kids has a late football practice, and I have to ask to have it in the mug because I don't want it in the takeaway cup. I've said I'm sitting in. I want your big mug, and I want to steal it a little bit. I want to steal it a bit. And why do they give you the takeaway cup? Is it because they don't want to wash up?
They don't want to wash up. They don't care about the planet. They don't want to wash up.
About the planet. Anyway, and last one. This is 750ml eco-friendly rinse aid for your dishwasher. Go without that for a month and you can support the podcast. My dishwasher seems to drink rinse aid every day.
Oh,
It flashes red at me. Does yours?
Yes, it's incredible. Like every time I turn it on, I'm like, what is this goddamn light for?
And
every
I think
time.
someone else could do that. And then it's the sort of job that I know no one else is ever going to do. And then it's 6 o'clock and I have to stand over it, trying to squat my legs, squirting the boss. Anyway, what else can you get at £3.50?
Well, I saw you could buy a Huel meal drink from Tesco, £3.50.
£3.50 for a Huel. You are big. Buy a bottle of milk. Do you hear me, Debs? You got to call that Huel. Just get yourself
That's
some
an
milk.
expensive habit, isn't it? It's an expensive habit. £2.25 will get you a packet of Tunnocks Wafer biscuits.
Oh, a packet. Okay, I thought it was just one.
And if you wanted to buy some Stella Artois, 4 bottles, going to cost you £6. So I think £3.50 is a bargain. So I had a meal deal disaster. I was absolutely raging. I went to my local co-op. I bought the wrong side for the meal deal, which then cancelled out the meal deal. So the deal was 2 pizzas one side, 4 bottles of beer. I think it was £7. I thought, oh my God.
Was this just a snack? You're a bit hungry.
They've got me. So I thought we'd eat the pizza, we'd have the garlic bread. Incredible. Put the beers in the cupboard for Christmas. I was winning at life. I only noticed when I got home, it was quite expensive. I think it cost me like 41 quid in the co-op anyway.
For one...
Check the receipt. Check the receipt. And just the 4 beers alone cost me more than what the meal deal would have cost. I was not happy. So yeah, be careful, raging.
Sorry about that. Don't forget, if you want a snood or a bubble hat, please add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies. Also, join Patreon for a year and you save 10% off your membership. And if you join the Legend tier or above, we'll send you a bubble hat too. And you can gift Patreon. Now's the time when you're looking at the Christmas lists. And don't forget, I'm very happy to do a handwritten Christmas card to the patron in your life.
I deleted that out last week. I thought I'd do you a favour just in case you...
Oh, did you? I wondered why I hadn't had any requests. I was like, can't believe no one wants my handwritten Christmas card. I love a Christmas card.
Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. X Miles is a family-owned independent endurance sports retailer that provides nutritional goods, apparel and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. Listeners can get 10% store credit over at www.xmiles.co.uk via the link in the show notes. Also, check out X Miles for loads of Black Friday deals from brands like Morton, Pillar, 22 Sixes, UCAN and loads more. If your cupboard's empty, then head over to www.xmiles.co.uk. I saw there was 50% off the Core 1 sensor. That is a big saving. And also, if you fancy a new run and watch, the Chorus Pace Pro for only £229. 100% I will be dusting off my core sensor when I have my marathon PB assault at the end of 2026. Very grateful to Ugoku Projects for producing the Tea and Trails cap. Pop over to Ugoku Projects if you would like one. Don't forget, patrons receive 20% off. Also, all you lovely listeners can enjoy 10% off with the code T10. I think I'm going to trigger my wife. We listened to something the other day and the energy of the presenter really annoyed her.
Oh, I thought you said placenta. I was like,
The energy of the
the
placenta.
placenta really annoyed you. And I was like, what the hell were you watching?
So if you are looking for the discount codes, then head over to Patreon, teatrails.com, check out the show notes where you will find our link tree.
I don't like to throw anyone under a bus, but we watched the Children in Need show and it was a bit like that. They're presenting so cringy and they're so clearly reading autocue and getting noise in their ear at the same time. And I was like, this is painful. This is painful.
You know all about that. The noise in your ear. You've peeked behind the curtains.
I absolutely am a professional. I am a professional. This time last week, you were a bit low. You were a bit low. You were a bit tired. We feared for perhaps it was the end of Gareth Waits. And then I think we finished recording at like sort of 11:30 or 12, bit of lunch, and then within the hour you'd popped up having done 10 miles or something.
I know.
So I was like, you just whined at me all morning for nothing.
I had multiple resets during last week. So I did. I was faithful. 0 miles on Monday. I didn't listen to the whispers on, say, Friday, Saturday, and I dug myself in a big hole doing such a long run on Sunday when I did the Saltburn Marathon. And I realised two things. If you go super long or too much intensity, they don't go well, I think, if you've got a cold, a virus, or some kind of infection. So I reset the week. Easy Trails with Rex was that run that you're talking about. Because I felt okay, I reset the week again. I thought I'd just do the workouts maybe and not the long run. And then I did my 4 times 5 minutes on the treadmill, which went fine. I had no reaction. So then in my head, I reset the week once again and I thought I'd do everything. I really enjoyed the 4 times 5 minutes. I was trotting along incredibly. I was visualizing, if Steve Ovett or Steve Cram were on the elliptical behind me, maybe reminiscing about the good old days, they would have had to cut short their anecdote and they'd be saying, my goodness,
Who
Steve,
is that guy?
He's the one that got away. He is incredible. Look at that form. He could have been one of the greats. And then I did the side glance in the mirror, even though our mirror is very forgiving in the fitness factory. And it was just that old man shuffling along on the treadmill, looking back at me.
No, it wasn't. Did you do that uphill or was that on the flat?
Well, 1%.
It terrified. Anything faster than a 7-minute mile on the treadmill, terrified. I feel like that's it. My teeth are going. I cannot. I hate it. Why does it feel so fast?
I think that first one, maybe I should break it down into 2.5 minutes.
That's what I do. So I go really quite slow on that first bit. If I'm doing a flat on the treadmill, first few minutes, because I'm like, not for the heart rate, but just because I feel like the leg speed.
But after that, it's really bizarre. I think you've got your gate open. You just know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the 4 times 5 minutes, I appreciate this is very unique to me because of the workouts I've been doing recently.
Oh, it must have been like a taper. It must have been like...
It was great.
I don't think now I could go back to a 4 by 5 minutes because like you have been doing mega long things.
Try it, Eddie.
I know
It's
because
great.
I couldn't warm up. It takes me 4 to warm up.
Thirsty Thursday on the trails was fine, but Friday, so again, I'd reset. Thirsty Thursday was fine. The workout was fine. I'd reset. I'm going to do every goddamn thing on the plan.
Who wants to be in Gary's head this week? Oh my God, it must have been exhausting.
On the Alban app, you can plan the week and then you can reset the week. So I literally did that about 4 times, I think, as the week progressed. Friday, though, I think things just started to catch up with me. The run with Rex didn't feel great. I even went out with a dog walk later on, and that just felt really, really laboured. So I had the devil. We'll all do this as runners. We'll have the angel and the devil on our shoulders. The devil is saying, do it all. Just bury yourself. The angel's going, Gary, you've got cross country on Sunday. Give yourself a break. So after a heated debate, I binned off the long run on Saturday. I still ran. I think over the week, I still did 100k. So I've not completely took the foot off the gas as far as volume's concerned, but I thought I'd try and keep a few matches unlit for cross country on Saturday.
And how did that pan out for you?
It was such a bruising affair, honestly. I had no energy. It was my slowest ever Reckington cross country. I look back on, I've done that fixture.
I'm not sure I'd have done that.
Dangerous, yeah. But I still managed to score for the team. I was the last counter. So not a total write-off as far as that's concerned. Just trying to get to that next gear. Everyone knows I run to heart rate. So I was checking that as I was going as a metric. The heart rate was lower than what I was getting on the 4 times 5 minutes, but I just had nothing to give. I had a bit of asthma. That settled probably after the first lap. Lots of excuses. It was okay. However, I'm not too sure if I did take any strategies that we chatted with Stu onto the start line, but I had zero stress. That's a totally unusual situation for me. Normally I'm a bag of nerves. Zero stress, gun went off. I think I had 500 metres of feeling okay, and then it was sad
Don't we all?
times. But the positives, I'm trying to take some positives from this. I represented the club, and I think that is very valuable as a runner. I still scored. I thought Mill's going to sweep me up any second. Declan went past me, and I was just waiting for Mill to get me too.
All right, mate.
It's kind of like a flat run at the end of Reckington, and I went past somebody and I knew they were just on my shoulder. I think it was Polly, North Shields Polly. His son was spectating too, and his son was cheering him on to beat me, and he got me in the end. So yeah, that would have been wonderful for a dad-son moment. But yeah, I didn't.
You didn't appreciate that. Guys, thanks a lot.
But it was still a solid workout, even though I was
You tried.
bruised.
You showed willing, Gary. That's all we ever ask. You showed
40 odd minutes at like zone 4. And I saw loads of
40 odd minutes.
I even saw, I hope Charlotte doesn't mind me sharing this, there was one point on the course where it was ankle deep mud. It was just complete slop. I think if you had spikes, you'd have no traction too. Normally a takeaway from slower runners like myself is like these elites just glide over all the mud. I even saw Jarlath struggling through the mud. He still shot past me halfway around the second lap. Yeah, and I saw people who I don't normally see very often, and I'm just chalking it down to a one-off. The other week, I think a few weeks ago, I was gushing about I PB'd at Druidge Bay cross country, so it is just a blip.
You shouldn't have kept trying to reset and said, I feel better. You should have just gone.
Do you think I'll learn? I don't think I'm going to learn.
Of course you won't. That's why I'm honestly not giving it much airtime. I'm just like enjoying your misery.
And then on Sunday, I'd already promised Lisa I'd go for a run with her once they got home. And my legs, I've just got those tingles in my legs where you just know I shouldn't use these again. But I'd promised her a run. It was only going to be 5 miles. It was dark. She would have went out on her own, but I didn't want to have her going out on the trails on her own. So I dragged my ass out. Rex, he got the memo though. He assisted me for 5 miles. It was incredible. Once he's, done his business, emptied his bladder, all that kind of stuff, he just pulled me away like a champ.
Oh,
really.
I love it.
Yeah, lovely end to the week.
I have love it because Bryn doesn't like running with Lindy, and so if we run together and he's got Taka, no assist. In fact, a hindrance, and Lindy huge assist, and I just chat. I don't even break a sweat, Gary.
When you're going uphill and your little dog is dragging you up, it's incredible.
And I go, if you want to pull away, my friend.
What else happened for my week? Oh yeah, jump ship. I'm now a member of the One Gym.
Oh, that didn't take long. I love the fact that you come at the podcast with like these conundrums. What am I going to do? And then the next minute you're like signed up for the big guns. One Gym. I'm going to look it up. Keep talking.
One gym, Peely. The treadmill. My only negative so far is the treadmills are not as good as the fitness.
It's
factories.
enormous, Gary. Does that not scare you? I'd be like, go in and go, I can't find you, Gary.
I was quite stressed out initially. I just saw the stair stepper and I just went to that and waited for Robbo to come in.
Did not even do anything. Did you just stand there, drop a pin and go, I'm by the stair stepper?
Well, I couldn't work. I didn't know how to work them. It stopped working after 20 minutes. That must be its default timer. So I need to go and ask some member of staff, how do I use these machines?
But I'm looking at the studio timetable. What are you signing up for? Bums and Tums. Legs, bums and tums. You can do this Tuesday morning, 6:15, and you can be back in time to do the podcast. Gary, this is it. Insane abs from 10 past 10.
I did make some notes somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but yeah, we got...
What's WOD? WOD at 9:45.
Workout of the day. That is WOD.
Oh, okay.
We've got insane abs. We've got lower body blast, upper body blast.
I can see you signing up. Literally, you can go in at
legs,
about
bums, tums,
and you can spin, then you can box fit, and then you can legs, bums, tums. You're always talking about your problem areas.
I'm a bit... I'm going to basically gorge on all of them and see which ones I
Good idea.
like.
I look for. Can you make sure you live record that for me?
But again, I only did the spinning because Robbo was there. I was really grateful that he does that, or he does that class already. I've never done that in the 3 years I've been to Fitness Factory. I've heard all the classes.
Did you get on someone else's bike and they're like, that's on my bike, it was used, get off it?
Maybe I did. I don't know. A lot of people are in black, lots of colour coordinated clothes, including me. I'm not throwing stones at people, but I did notice there was a very strong uptake on the Beats headphones. I just couldn't run. Imagine having that on your head.
No.
But I did forget how much I loved a class.
Did you used to be a bit of a gym bunny before?
When I worked for somebody else, before I was self-employed, it was quite social in the workshop and everybody used to go to Windsor Gym and Egham Gym. I think my experience in the one gym is going to be a lot more sociable than the Fitness Factory, but a bit of a mixed bag
It was
of a
a bit
week.
of a mixed bag, wasn't it?
It's gone.
Loads.
Moving on.
It's gone. Learn.
Yes, we'll see about that. How about you?
Well, I was really nervous, but I listened to my body. But also, I didn't have anything like you had cross country in the calendar to get ready for. So I could just take every day. I sort of had ideas of what I wanted to do, but I could just take every day as I felt. I was nervous that I'd done a lot the week before with the 2 mega runs that I could go backwards. I could end up with a niggle, or I could, because even though we've been running for years, that jump in like 5 hours extra of training, it needs to be, I think that's probably, I don't want to like make assumptions, but you did a mega long run. I did a mega long run, but I did mine on the Saturday. I think you did yours on the Sunday. I think it really wipes you out. Like we don't respect it enough. We've got a bit blasé about it because the intensity is not there. You think it's fine. I think the dehydration, you miss a meal, and that's a big deal for me. You're then constantly on catch up for like 48 hours, and you need to really respect that. So I was really nervous. I'd never want to be that guy and end up having to come back on next week. Honestly, the podcast keeps me on a leveler because I'm like, I can't come back. Everyone knows what I did, and I was a bit dumb.
Yeah.
And I don't want to then come back and go, oh, I've pulled my hammy and I can't run on. No content for 8 weeks apart from doing glute bridges. So I was really, really careful with my recovery. But actually, I felt all right. And I did a double day Monday, super easy. Thanks, Lindy. I think I did one with Lindy in the morning. And then I was like, Lindy, I do have to use my own glutes for this one. Then Tuesday, instead of doing workout on my leg, you see, Gary, this is where the spin classes might come in handy. Instead of doing my workout, I did it on the bike, but I did 90 minutes because I knew I was going to have a busy weekend. So I wanted to make sure I always hit that 2 to 3 hours on the bike. So I was like, I'm going to bank 90 minutes. I've not sat on my bike for 90 minutes for a long time, Gary.
How's your backside?
Quid lingo was my inner thighs were pretty sore after. So I just go in the Zwift workouts and just choose, if I feel spicy, I choose the one with loads of red in it because they have different color, red's really hard. If I'm not too sure, I choose loads of yellow. If I'm really not sure, I choose loads of blue, which is really easy. So I chose a yellowish one with the odd red bit in, and then it would give me like 6-7 minutes of like relatively easy work to do. And I got I had to be like Rocky and get a towel and put it over me because the sweat drying on me, I got so cold. So now I've got this, and now I've got my face towel, which I wipe all the sweat off. And now I've got my Rocky towel, as I call it, as well. Because the same happened on the treadmill yesterday. So it's like -4, -5 outside. And the garage, I'm sure the garage is colder. You get a sweat on, then as soon as you're recovering, within like a minute on the treadmill, I was like, so I had to run in a fleece yesterday and I took it off, but then I was like, the air was so cold on my arm. So I put it back on. When I came in, Bryn was like, I've never seen your face. What has happened? And I think the heat had like come up out of the fleece and I had this like really red patch face. Oh, I know. What a dream. He's a lucky guy. So I got to Wednesday and I was like, oh, God, Gary's still sending me whining messages. I am on fire. Did easy run in the morning, and then I thought I'll implement a few strides in my afternoon run, and chose like a roadish route. It was a little bit busy, what we call busy in the Highlands, with the postman and the school runs, and I could not get my legs from it. I did 6 by 30 seconds, and I don't think I always try and hit something with a 5 in for my strides once I hit top end speed, and then I couldn't get above a 7-minute mile. I just could not get my legs to I think I got 1. So I was like, oh, no, I thought I'd done so well. I didn't know if that was a byproduct of still being tired or a byproduct of the bike and my adductors being so sore. I think it was probably a mixture of most. Anyway, it was quite good Thursday. I was then like, right, I'm just going to run easy. With this workout that I've got planned is not going to happen this week. And then I ran in the morning, and then life got away with me. And by the time I got back, if I get back with the kids, like past 6:30, I just wipe out evening training, even though I used to train, that used to be my training time. Yeah. But I do not want to leave there would be the fighting, and I don't see them during the day. So I'm just like, if it hasn't happened by the time they all come home, let's not pretend to anyone, though I often gaslight myself into pretending I'm going to do it. But we all know I'm not going to do it because we got homework, I've got to cook tea, etc. So Thursday was a bit of a rest day, really, anyway. So Friday comes around, still haven't done my workout, Gary. And I'm like, should I just leave the workout? I've done a workout
Sounds like
on the
me.
bike. I know, I did a Gary. So I had a big breakfast, and I always find this helps. I was like, I'm not going to do it first thing with just a snack. I'm going to leave it till mid-morning, which I never normally do because I normally am deep in like plans and calls by like 10, 11. I think I only had a call in the afternoon, so I had a free morning. So I thought, I'm going to leave it till about 10. Sun's up on the garage. And I'm going to have a big breakfast before. I'm going to take 2 gels and I'm just going to see what the good Lord has given my legs. And it was absolutely fine. In fact, it was good. 8 by 5 minutes uphill. And and I gave myself the grace. And if anybody else feels a bit tired and they're not sure if they should do their workout, I started off really, really slow. I think I did like half an hour warm up before I even started the session. So I just started off really slow and almost like walked the first five minutes, then increased. So I got a real sweat on. And by the time I think I started the session, I'd already done like 3 miles and 1,000 and a bit feet of vert. So I was like well into it. So I think if I'd started earlier, I'd have like binned off the first 2 reps because I'd have been too creaky. So it worked really well. But obviously that took me an hour and a half. So you need to have quite a big block of time. And that's a bit of a luxury for a lot of us, isn't it? Anyway, it felt great. And I made some notes on the time and the heart rate and everything, because it's going to be like my key session leading up for now the next like 12 weeks. I'm going to progress this longer session because I think I really only want to do 1 session a week plus my bike work. I think that's enough. I just can't recover. And then I think you give it really good welly as well if you just do 1 bigger session. Lots of people, that's too big if you're just starting out running, so don't think I'm going to do that. Lots of people I think do better with 2 sessions and with shorter sessions, and they get better bang for your buck out of themselves. But actually I think I do better if I just do 1 sort of hard session a week. At the same time, did I mention it last week? I was watching Finishing. I think it's finished. I can't work out if it's finished or not. I've watched all 6 episodes. Wild Cherry. It's about teenage girl, very rich, entitled girls at this very posh girls' school, and their parents, and they have this sort of social media pictures scandal thing going on, and it's so real, but it's also,
is it a drama or is it?
Yeah, it's a drama, but it's like it's like you keep seeing flashes of like blood, and something horrible is going to happen, and then coming out of the woods like covered in blood, and you're like, what the hell? Where is this going? And it's got so many twists and turns, and you can see. I've told Bryn he won't watch it, but I've told Bryn and Great, and you can see how they make one little mistake, and the whole thing just like catapults. Anyway, if you want a treadmill viewing, it's pretty easy viewing. It's not like, but it's a great story. I think it's finished. I watched the last one and I was like, well, you could sort of end it there. Is that the end? I do think if you can find something to watch on the treadmill, I just zoomed through that workout. Am I cheating a bit by watching something? I think, am I mentally hiding from the workout because I'm watching something and I'm enjoying it so much? But I do think as well, I don't want the workout to be too hard. So I think if I can watch something at the same time, I've got about the right level of intensity. And you know me, Gary, I don't like, but when it got to like the action scenes, and I was like, I think this is my safe place on the treadmill. I'm going to be a bit more adventurous. You're never going to know what I'm going to watch next.
Stranger Things next week.
Okay. Also, because I can't really see it on the screen, so I'm not really sure what's going on. Let's do this, Gary. You always go, why do you? So then I had my long run the next day, Gary. I had to get up at 10 to 5. 4:50, that was too early. So it was the Wild Heart Runners run by Kaz Nicol and Debs Martin Consani. It was their 2nd birthday.
Wow,
and so they were having
fast.
a little social run along the West Highland Way and some cake and soup afterwards. And I really wanted to go, but I couldn't take the time out and not do a long run again the next day, too much. So I thought I will go an hour earlier because they were just doing a 2-hour run and make it a 3-hour run to kind of make it worth the drive as well. But that did mean getting up super early, leaving the house and then driving, and it was so far I could not see anything, so it took me ages to get there. It was dark, it was misty. I've never wanted to not get out of my car. I thought I could just have a little sleep anyway. As ever, gaslighted myself and said, well, just walk, get out, get your head torch on, and just start trotting along. It doesn't matter. Just move your body, you fat, lazy waste of piece of.
Oi.
And of course, I was fine. Started jogging along, couldn't see anything. So misty. My old lady eyes were like weeping with all the. But I managed 6.5 miles before I met up. So I was secretly a little bit smug as well because I thought,
I've already done 6 miles.
Guys. But I put too many clothes on, Gary, and it got warmer. Even though it was freezing to start with, warmer and warmer, and had the worst back chaffing by the end because I had like 4 layers on. I did not need 4 layers on. Anyway, we had a lovely run along West Highland Way, reliving our lovely West Highland Way adventure that we had with all my pals, up and down, round and round. Lovely bit of the West Highland Way, out and back. Lots of anemia chat. I think every person I ran alongside was like, Eddie, I've had my blood test. I've got anemia. I mean, that's lovely to hear, but also like I feel really sorry for people, especially when they've just been diagnosed and they're feeling rubbish. This is all women saying, the GP wouldn't test and having to fight for a blood test because the people just saying, look, I just feel really, really tired. So I'm really sorry to hear that. So all I can do is give hugs and then help out where I can help out. Anyway, we had a lovely soup, cake, delish. Drive back, Gary, and Bryn had done a big stint with the kids all at home then with nothing on, which is very rare for our kids. I walked in and I was like, I need to take over here. I can see there's been all sorts of things going on. So tired, Gary, and disgusting. But I had a shower and then I was like, right, it's about 3:30 now. I was like, I've got to push through. I felt like, when they were toddlers and you had to you just push through to bedtime and you were like, I felt like that again. I was so tired. I was like, come on, do some parenting. Back to the old days, played some snakes and ladders, some dominoes. We did some gardening. We walked around the garden.
How big's your garden?
I picked some leaves up. You can make the garden. We got a fairy trail around our garden, Gary. You can make the garden. You just walk in zigzags. I'd take the dog. The dogs probably could have done with a walk, but I was like, no, I'm not going out of the garden. And then the minute it turned 6, I was like, right, TV on, everybody lie down. Don't get me takeaway. Anyway, I was super happy when Sunday came round. I just had one run to do. Sucked it up, didn't just a cup of tea, quick slice of toast, out the door, get it done, showered, the week is done. It was done, Gary. I didn't ever feel super sparky, spicy, but I never felt too tired either. And I think, like you, paid a little bit for the volume, but pushing everything to the end of the week is not always the wisest move. But I do think as long as you fuel really well. So I fueled my workout. I had 120 grams of carbs in the 90 minutes for the workout. Yeah. And then I fueled straight away afterwards, ate all day. And then for the long run, I had the same, 80 grams of carbs an hour, plus breakfast before, fuel after. So I think as long as you're fueling it, you can do. I think it's better to push stuff to when you're feeling good. And then just like I did, do a really long warm up. And if you're not feeling it, then just go for volume over intensity or just bin it.
Just the way the weeks go sometimes. It just has to be the end of the week.
I've rearranged this week, coming up a little bit better to try another little experiment to see if actually it might help. So I'll talk about that next week. But I think listening to your body and not fighting it, even if you do what's in the plan, but you do it differently, you take it down 10 heartbeats or take the intensity right down, you can still achieve. Or just like me, just gaslight yourself into telling yourself that you've achieved it.
Or you still do a workout. Maybe it's not the 10 times 30 minutes. You might do 10 times a minute or 10 times 2 minutes.
I think that's worse. Or just your strides and just hate yourself even more when you can't get your rusty old legs moving. And even the postman's waiting. He was waiting at the track as I was doing my last stride for me to come past. And I could
the stopwatch.
Yeah, he was almost looking at his watch going, how long is this going to take? I've got a lot of deliveries. And I'm like, this is my fast bit. Doing my best, mate.
7 minute mile. Thanks, Precision Fuel and Hydration, for supporting Brew with the Coaches. Their website and newsletters are such a good source of knowledge.
He's going. He's gone.
I could never be a newsreader. I'd be a mess.
Well, we'd get sacked because it would go out live and they'd say, you're going to read the news at all? You started talking, you talked for 3 hours about Tesco.
No tangents. Yeah.
Hey,
their website.
Do you reckon? Wait, sorry, they love this chap, Simple Hydration. Do you reckon, like Tess Daly and Claudia Winkleman are leaving Strictly? They're looking for a double act.
I think we've got the right energy.
I would definitely do Claudia's job and you could do Tess's because you can just read the
I think I'm the Tess of the duo, yeah.
I would be, but I'd be very worried about what would come out when I was talking to people and I'd say, oh, Katia, you dirty dog. We all remember what you did in season.
Imagine the production team in your ear.
You'd look great in Tess Daly's dresses, though. All those sparkling numbers.
I think I could pull it off.
She'd
Heels.
just have to put the hem up a little bit because I think she's quite tall.
Do I have to get to cuddle up to Vernon as well? Is that part of the deal?
Well, it's whatever you want. We're an open podcast.
Their website and newsletters, what a link. Their website and newsletters are such good source of knowledge. Articles to read and YouTube content to binge on too. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultramarathon, what pro runners carry on race day, and how to nail your marathon prep. Precision Fuel and Hydration helps athletes personalize their hydration and fueling strategies so they can perform at their best. They will help you know your numbers too. They have a handy free online sweat test and nutrition planner. I know I had a shocker at cross country, but it probably would have been a lot worse if I never slurped on the classic OG 30 grams of carb gel from Precision Fuel and Hydration. They have a mild, neutral taste that helps reduce flavour fatigue during longer efforts. The texture is designed to reduce sickness in the mouth and minimise the need to wash them down with fluid immediately too. Head over to www.precisionhydration.com. Don't forget, patrons get 20% off, but if you would like to try Precision Fuel and Hydration, then you are in luck. Use the code TEATIME2025 for 15% off your first order.
The producers in my ear said, wait, let him finish. Can you ever take a gel without drinking straight afterwards? You psychopath.
Yeah, while I'm in the pen, cross country.
Is that when you take the gel? You need to take it earlier. It takes 15 minutes.
I'm going to be running for longer than 15.
Yeah, but take another one.
Oh, I do not take a gel during the race.
Oh my God, I would totally take a gel with 20 minutes through that. Absolute caffeine, 500 milligrams.
Well, yeah, because my watch beeped half an hour in, and I was thinking, shit, I've got 10 minutes to go of this nightmare.
Oh, Gary.
But I would have normally
called me.
coaching call mid-race. But I would have normally taken a gel, but for some reason, cross country, I don't.
No, it's funny. I guess that. I know you can't know, and I know like when you're on the river as well, like up to an hour. But I just think if I was doing a workout that was that length, well, I would definitely take a gel halfway through.
Yeah, 100%. But for some reason,
I think my body starts looking for it too. I definitely feel that like if I do a big workout halfway through, I'm like, yeah, am I soft?
Maybe I'll try that next time. I'm new to the world of ultra running and I'm wondering if I've bitten off more than I can chew. I've done various endurance events in the past, but they were all a long time ago. Ironman in 2016 and the last marathon was in 2021. I've always wanted to run ultras and have historically just thrown myself into challenges and not thought twice. However, as I get older, 33, Matt, I cannot believe you said that on this podcast. I'm nearly 20 years older than you. Can't believe it. I'm having to be more cautious as I find it too easy to pick up niggles. Just to add to the mix, I recently had not one but two minor operations which stopped me running between September 2024 and January 2025. So I'm building. All that said, I've entered a 100k Maverick race in the Peaks in June. Is this too much too soon? I don't want to get injured and put myself out of action again. Obviously, we've got to this question too late, but there'll be many listeners in a similar boat. Trish, yeah, any advice?
It really does depend on where your base is, and in Matt's case, Matt does seem to have a very good base. So because he's got a very good base, he should generally recover quicker. Now, we don't know what your operations were. The advice would be the same, essentially. You've got to take it on how you respond to those operations. And I would take that on a week by week basis. The key thing, though, is a slow build and making sure that you're identifying how you're progressing on a weekly basis and not pushing too quickly. Whenever we come back from some kind of niggle or an illness, the temptation is always to come back too quickly. And some of the best advice I've ever had is wait till you feel better and then take another day, which I often do my best to ignore myself, but but it is very, very good advice. We should be giving ourselves a little bit more time to recover. You won't gain anything from coming back too quickly. You have everything to gain from giving it a couple more days. So I would say it definitely helps to have someone externally looking at what you're doing here. So in this case, it's very helpful to have a coach who will be objective with you, or a good friend, or someone who you trust, who knows you, your history and what you're trying to do, your capacity to do that, to be able to give you an honest answer as maybe you're not quite ready yet. Key though, like I said, is the build. The build must be slow. And when you do start introducing hard sessions, you don't come back too quickly to hard sessions. So you space them out, you allow adequate recovery from those hard sessions. You might start off with one a week, maybe one every 2 weeks at first, just to start the build and allow you to get back to where you were. It's a slow process. You can't rush it. That's the key thing.
Do you think if somebody has a history of niggles and on and off injuries, they're running 100K, to them it's all about like finishing the race, they want to do the best that they can. Do they need to do sessions? Like sessions are the biggest injury, like
stress on the body.
Do you think the volume actually, easy miles, I would say volume with strength training and then just strides is enough for like a number of builds? And then as you build more and you're like, I've done a whole 8 weeks and a race and I've recovered. I don't know. I just think like I never have a runner come and say I was injured off my easy runs. Russell, what do you think?
You can get so far, can't you, with easy runs and strides? It ticks all the boxes. And ultras, to be honest, we're predominantly working the aerobic system. So that is the zone that you're going to be in throughout the whole race if you do it right. And the strides give you that biomechanical impetus and that bit of specific strength training. You don't need to have sessions, and they are high risk, and a lot of really good runners don't even put them in. Could be like Trish says, just once a week, so you get loads of time to recover off it. I like to think of it as 3 levers: intensity, volume and frequency. And intensity is the first one to pull right down so that you can get the volume up without those niggles creeping in. And that is usually the problem, is that ego lever, where people just want to get out the door and show their neighbours how fast they are or something like that. But it's just high risk.
Joyce, where you've been out.
Yeah.
Look how fast I'm going.
Yeah, and it's real. But if you can keep the volume up and then the frequency, so you can get out nearly every day, so your body gets the message and it can really make those adaptations, you can get a long way in ultra running. But it's boring. And as coaches, sometimes we have to sprinkle stuff in there to look like we're doing something. But actually,
I don't.
A lot of the time.
I have no fear of repeating and saying, I often leave a note to say, same again, add in 2 more 20 seconds uphill strides. I think with Matt as well, that was really good what you said, Trish, about like talking to a friend. I think Matt as well is if you and anybody else who's like building and has that, because we all know that inner voice that says, am I doing too much? Because we know it's true. As soon as that little voice says anything like, am I doing this? You know that it's true, that sort of gut feeling. I think, Matt, all you have to do then is just write out your race plan, what you're doing, write out realistically what that mileage, what that time on feet, when you're going to have to fit in the long runs for that. Do a like sort of spreadsheet or write it on a piece of paper and have a look at it. And that will give you a really clear view. And I often color code mine and find that really helps. So I give red weeks for big volume weeks. And if I've got too much red, and then you need like a nice color for recovery weeks, I do a sort of dusky pink. And if you want to have a look, and if there's too much red in that plan, because you've got to keep peaking, you're doing too much. So it's a really good way to see, if you're a sort of visual person like me, where have I got to peak? Where's the volume going to be? And if you've got it too closely clumped together without enough recovery, there's a visual sign of before you've even started, that's too much as well. And the biggest tell, however, is like just how your body feels. If you can do it, some people can handle a load. Look at Sarah Perry, and she's like, yeah, I'm back running, I feel fine. Some people genetically can recover the way that they fuel in runs, their history, the way their lifestyle. Like, you can't compare yourself to anybody either. And that's what makes it really tricky as well, because it's not a copy and paste model either. So, but I always go with that voice. If you think, is this too much? If you say it out loud, it's normally true. true, isn't it? It's like when you're running next to someone in a race and they go, oh, no, yeah, this is my 100-mile place. And they're sweating and they're out of breath. And you think, I think we both know the truth.
The other thing to remember as well is that there's a ton of great studies out now that show that you can increase VO2 alone with just base work. And actually the foundations, that flour in the cake, that's so critical for you to develop. So even if you just do base work, you will improve. Yeah, you do need to kind of add sprinkles and more stuff in if you want to continue that improvement. But base work alone really is the foundation to good running.
Just run up some hills and you'll just you can keep an easy effort, but just go up some hills and feel those glutes working and you'll get that result as well. Matt, we looked, even Detective Eddie couldn't find your Maverick results. So not sure if that happened. But if you're planning this year, next year now, 2026, or anybody else planning their year, really sensible of Matt to think about it and think about if he's doing too much too soon. Think about those peak weeks. And remember, we're all in it for the long game. We all want to be standing on the top of Snowdonia, having a cup of tea together when we're 90. And then coming down backwards because our knees are shot.
That is the dream.
That's the dream. We'll be carrying you down, Gary.
Matt,
carrying you up.
Train.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Harrier Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and Tales from the Trails section. Harrier is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. If you'd like to save 10% on your purchase from Harrier, then use the T10 code for 10% off siteways or check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. Harrier couldn't wait. Their Black Friday sale is on and lasts all of November. So if you're listening to this at the end of the week, you've got a couple of days left. It's a bumper bundle of trail goodness. Free track 48-hour shipping on every UK order. 20% off a hand-picked selection, including race vests, poles and hydration gear. Earn double Trail Mile loyalty points on all pre-orders items too. Basically, if you've had your eye on something from Harrier, send your nearest and dearest that link now for an early Christmas present. Head over to www.harrierrunfree.co.uk.
First up in this week's Strava Club, it's a repeat offenders Strava Club this week. Adrian Brooker, 65.7 miles for the week with the longest run of 22.5 miles. Total elevation, 1,183 feet. Yeah, Adrian featured a few weeks ago. He did the Venice Marathon, if memory
Was he
serves
really
me right.
fast? Were we the one that we're looking at splits going?
Ooh, I don't know. Well, I know his long run would have buried me for the rest of the day, but nothing exotic. Yeah, but he did do a 22.5 mile run with an average pace of 7:51. I'm not too sure if there was some faster miles in there. Either way, I'm pretty sure I would have been glued to the sofa after that run.
I'd have been under the sofa. I can't get on the sofa. My legs.
Next up is Tom Burkhead, 59.6 miles for the week. Longest run of 10.9 miles and 5,807 feet of vert. Too cool for Pule Fell Race. Third male and fourth overall. Incredible, eventful to say the least. Slipping and sliding all over the gaff. A sprint finish through the woods was not ideal at the end. A top race organised by Marsden Racers. Tom was out on Sunday too. It must have been so wet. Strava will group together the people that were on the run with you. This is how his fellow runners named their run. James Nobles, previous guest, friend of the show, he called his run Bog Trotter. Sleet Ford Mobs by Gavin Mulholland. Andy Smith had wet knickknacks. And also previous guest of the show, Sean Merriweather, was wetter than an otter's pocket. Fun times on the trails though. Last up, and again, Michelle Rung. She was just on the podcast a few weeks ago in the Strava Club. 62 miles for the week, 15.6 longest run, 3,337 feet of elevation. Another banger of the week. She's been on the treadmill, she's done yoga, she's been out for walks, strength, downhill reps. That is an often overlooked, something you don't do often because
I don't do it at all. It's too high injury risk.
Yeah, very high risk. Yeah. There's not many people I know who do that, but it looked like a peach of a coastal run at the weekend. Berwick to St Abs. This is her friend's Strava description.
Have you started going into their friends' Stravas? This is Gary, seriously.
Well, no, because they're all grouped together. People who went on the run, they were on it.
Guys, put your accounts to private. Just a warning, be knocking on your door.
What a day for it. saw all the wildlife, even a whale, which was actually a rock, and a seal that looked like a rock, but was actually a seal, and 2 very friendly sheep. Oh, absolutely love a coastal run. The last ever Hard Wolves 80 took place this weekend.
These people are going to be champions forever.
Totally got my long range forecast wrong. I said, oh, it looks okay at the weekend. Bad intel from the BBC weather app. The waterproofs were on the start line and the waterproofs were on at the finish, and some minging feet pictures at the end too.
Oh.
Anyway, Oliver Shaw took the win with the super impressive Stephen Kirk. Anybody from my neck of the woods, Punk Panther, Hardmoors, probably loads of other races too. Stephen Kirk feels like he runs a marathon at least every weekend, and he is on that podium. He was second place, closely followed by Lewis Wardale to complete the podium. It looks like that race for second and third was pretty close, but Stephen did just get a bit of a gap towards the end. Esme Price Coates took the win for the ladies, with Elizabeth Nairn in second place, and Alice Bourne completed the ladies' podium. Belated happy birthday to Angela Green. Angela has been a podcast supporter since the very beginning. It's always great to see. I normally bump into Angela. We're either pitching tents in the field in Coniston, or we're in the YHA in Coniston just before the Lakeland 50 or the Lakeland 100. Yeah, Angela, thanks for all your support, and I hope you've had a wonderful day. Heavy flex. Lizzie or Lizzie's friends didn't send this in, but I think it's worth a shout out because Lizzie was on the podcast, episode 154, and she mentioned this was one of her goals that she would like to do for this year. She completed a 3rd consecutive 100-mile finish at the Copthorne races, bagging her the first ever Triple Crown trophy in her fastest time of 28 hours, 29 minutes and 58 seconds. Kudos, Lizzie. Great running. If you have a mate who's flexed or orbited the sun one more time, then email hello@tntrails.com. You need to pop heavy flex or birthday shout out as the subject. Tales from the Trails.
Just before I start reading this Tales from the Trails, this is quite an emotional story, including some chat about baby loss. If this is something that might upset you or trigger you, scroll on for a few minutes. Hi, Eddie and Gary. Sorry if this is too long or too emotional. It's been nice to put my thoughts into writing. I listen intently every week and often find myself revisiting your race debriefs. I've been meaning to email them for some time, and I've only just found the courage to do so. I'm so pleased you did. I hope my writing shows how your podcast has positively impacted us all, and I hope I can at least help one person feel a bit less about a DNF. I was out running the Punk Panther Head Torch Half last night, and the event gave me a fabulous space to reflect on recent months, shifting the negative connotations on a DNF to the positives only a DNF can bring. Last month, I gave my all to the Hardmoors 60, an event I'd poured my life into. Countless evening runs after work, back-to-back long runs, speed sessions, hill sessions, time away from my son, partner and friends, committing time and energy to make sure I was ready to race that start line. The day was met with adversity. We sat on the coach, watching the drizzle blanket around us as we drew further into Gisborough, visibility reducing, wind howling. I looked around nervously and feebly declared, waterproofs on from the start. I think I had been following the front with expertise, watching as the forecast had been wrong. The triple point waving over the northeast for the following 24 hours. I knew we were in for a wet and windy experience. My winter training had prepared me, but my hopes of waving the summer goodbye were flooded. I met 2 amazing people on the coach, Jude and Neil. Jude, an experienced runner who I'd looked up to from our time on the Hardwoods 40. She reminded me from the comfort of our seats that I'd worked hard for this and deserved to be there. She snatched away any negative comments I was making and promised me that whatever happened, there would be an adventure. I could write an entire race debrief, but I fear would bore you all and surpass the meaning of this tale from the trails. I clung to my reason why as the race director briefed us all on the events ahead. I struggled to take in his words, thinking about why I was doing this, why anyone would endure 18 hours in persistent rain and wind and not even having the guarantee of finishing. We stood in full winter kit looking at each other, hopefully nervous, hugs shared between those friends we'd only met on race day as we wished each other well, the first few steps on tough lessons ahead. From the very start to the very end, we were met with wind and the type of rain that drenched through even the best kit. I'd not experienced anything like this since training when I was in the military. I laughed to myself whilst ticking the miles away. Civvies pay thousands for this, and here I was paying to suffer. The irony. We moved well until we hit the coast. The typically compact ground beneath us being replaced by slip-sliding conditions, where poles made an early appearance to support us through. Our planned speed had been tampered with, and the following hours were met with trudging and pleading for tarmac. I hit my wall just after Robin Hood's Bay. I saw people taking shelter in the public toilet, making the respectful decision to end their race there. As I was changing into a fresh fresh layer, I cried at how difficult the miles had been to this point, but I knew I was on track to make it to Ravenscar in good enough time. The light began to dim in this section, a battle with steps and uncoordinated footing. I was tired, mentally and physically exhausted. I recall questioning why I was here. Every waterproof was sodden, my waterproof mitts dripping as they were saturated like heavy weights on the end of my hands, tears mixed up with the raindrops. I considered ending my race at Ravenscar, making the decision with a few miles left to reach the warmth of the checkpoint. But with one step, a little robin flew by my foot as dusk approached. I paused and greeted him. "Hello, Percy, how are you doing?" He stayed for a moment until he took his leave and flew on by. Percy is my reason why, my little boy who'd passed away some years ago. He taught me that life is there to be lived, and I honour my life because he cannot. Days of running ultras to raise money for baby loss charities were behind me, but I remembered all those charities that my silly endeavours had supported. I remembered that running and being outdoors brought me closer to him, and nothing hurt as much as saying goodbye to your baby. When Percy died, someone gave me a Christmas card that had a cute robin illustrated in the coat, and the quote, "When robins appear, loved ones are near." I took this little encounter as a sign to keep on going. I pushed on through, leaving Ravenscar 10 minutes before closure, donning my head torch and running past a handful of people. Ironically, my splits were relatively faster than the midsection towards the end. Percy in mind, I pushed myself beyond tears, beyond what I thought was capable of. Along Scarborough ski front, Julian, the fabulous medic, drove slowly next to me. As I stuck my head into the window, rain battering down, and exclaimed, "Am I timed out? Are you picking me up?" His comforting reply of, No, just making sure you're okay. You just keep going." And keep going is what I did. I made good pace to the final checkpoint, running the hills, hoping and praying as I ran to the marshals, stuttering, "Can I keep going?" His response, "I'm sorry, we need your tracker. The checkpoint is closed." I looked at my watch, 3 minutes over the cut-off. Surely not. I thought about calling the race directors and pleading my case. I thought about continuing without a tracker, but the rules are the rules, and they're there for a reason, and they deserve my respect. I was huddled into my partner's car, silence between us, a few moments before driving away, the adventure an already distant memory, until my cries and tears broke the stillness. Quietly snobbing, it had all been for nothing. A gentle hand on my leg and a whisper of, "We are all proud of you." I saw my living son, Jody James, the next day as I handed him a Filey seagull with 2025 embroidered on it, a token reminder of my time on the trail, to which he hugged me and said, "Mummy been racing?" "Yes, little one." "Mummy's been running." "I love you, Mummy." I learnt more from the Hardmore 60 than I'd ever done on any race. The lack of T-shirt and medal has made me reflect on what went wrong and what went well, given me further fuel and fire to improve. The lessons have been carried forward with the hope to cement a finish in November's Hardmore's 80. On every journey and every run, I carry the memory of Percy, and that's all that matters, giving things our best shot, even when it feels hard and terrifying. The Hardmore 60 has brought nothing short of love and friendship, the people I met along the way, sharing miles, sharing kit, sharing hugs, smiles, conversation and motivation. It is a reminder of why we enjoy these things. The community and feeling of belonging, a feeling that was taken away from me when I buried my son. Running gave me purpose again. Thank you to everyone I've met along the way on these trails. And remember, a DNF does not define our worth. Love, Jenny Russell. We love your Tales from the Trails. Please keep them coming. Email hello@tntrails.com and pop Tales from the Trails as a subject.
We're a bit thin on the ground for hot reviews, so I'm going to do another Tales from the Trails.
I don't like a review. I take criticism really well.
It was 400 hours on a very cold morning in January. I got in my car with strong coffee and my running buddy Joss, the border collie. We then set off on the 90-ish minute journey to Threlkeld to recce leg 2 of the Bob Graham. Upon arriving, Joss had a quick wee and a sniff and was ready to go. And I was just climbing Clough Head, rising above the quarry when the coffee decided to cause some issues. We've all been there. I had to stop and release the issue. Oh my God, release the hounds. Luckily, I had Joss's doggy poo bag, so I scooped the poop, leaving the Lake District poo-free as it was when I arrived. I soon realised the thermal properties of said poo, and it kept my hands warm until Great Dodd, where unfortunately it started to cool. I then found it had therapeutic properties, well, like a fidget spinner, as a stress relief, and I squeezed it all the way until Helvellyn, where I finally put it in my rucksack side pocket.
Oh my God.
Continued to dumbbell raise and took the lower level route back to Threlkeld. What a run, where I found a bin and posted it. My friends think I should have just thrown a rock on top of it, but being an ex-soldier and not wanting the enemy to know I passed through, I think this was the right thing to do. What are your thoughts? I enjoyed the sensation of a warm poo bag this morning, actually, on the dog walk. Every poo, see, this is not an easy... Well, what's your thoughts first, Eddie? Did you do the right thing?
Are we really in this? Yeah, human poo. Oh my God, disgusting. Pick it up.
But every
Bury
poo
it.
it's quite unique in its properties, and I'm thinking a coffee poo. Nobody talks about cat poo, do they?
This really annoys me because they just come and poo. So we have cat that poos in our garden.
We've got cat shit on our front lawn very often. It came from Brian Bennett.
Thank you, Protein Rebel. Here we go. Welcome to Protein Rebel for bringing us home. Gentle on your stomach, driving your performance. Whether you're trying to get a PB, training for your first marathon, breaking world records dressed as a rhino, or completing your 10th ultra, Protein Rebel products are easy to digest with no official additives. Official? Official. With no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits. Daily Marine Collagen is designed for runners of all distances. Give your knees, ankles, hips, and tendons a break. You can train harder, recover faster, and stay injury-free. Trusted by runners of all distances, and it mixes easily, dissolves in coffee, shakes, or water. If you'd like to try some of their award-winning products, then use code T15 for 50% off your first order, or patrons can enjoy 15% off every order. Pop over to Patreon for that discount code.
I thought it was just life hacks we're going to do, not running hacks.
I love it.
So I was thinking, always beer in the fridge. Take a Tupperware with you when it's like an all-you-can-eat breakfast to Premier Inn. I do that quite often. Then I've fed myself for the rest of the day.
What, you can't. No. You're doing the wrong thing. Let's save that. Let's save that for another time.
Oh, boring running hacks. Come on then.
Yeah. It's funny that.
Some of them do cross over, which is always a good thing.
This is great. Top 5. Oh, I've got much feedback about the top 5, Gary. People are not...
Not resonating with them yet. Maybe they could choose the top 5.
Dangerous times.
It's not a list we can exhaust forever. There's only so many top 5s.
Oh, it is. Do not worry. Every Monday
Okay.
when you say, what's the top 5? I promise you, I will keep thinking of top 5s until the end of time. This week, we're doing running hacks. Top 5 ways that you cut corners that won't, hopefully result in performance decrease. They might even result in performance increase. From 2 very old, decrepit and past it runners. What yours?
Sleep in running
That is
kit.
disgusting.
Why? No, not like dirty running kit, clean running kit for the run in the morning. Also heart rate monitor too.
Tell me you've never done that. You've never done that.
I can't confirm or deny if I've done that. Always carry an emergency snack. The amount of times, even on just the other day, Lisa and I, village loop with Rex, I'm just coming up to Station Town and I am like a hungry fox smashing a Snickers. So whatever the distance, I would always have a gel, some jelly tots or something like that. I would always carry some emergency food. If you are time pressed, maybe the run or whatever it is overwhelming you in whatever else is going on in your day. I know it's not ideal as far as the plan's concerned, but it's okay to split the run. Quite often on my plan currently, there's lots of easy runs and they vary from 1 hour 45 minutes. So they're not a recovery run, which is, I wouldn't want to go over an hour maybe on a recovery run. Zone 2 easy run from 1 hour and 45 to maybe 1 hour and 50 odd. So they're quite a big chunk of the day. And how my day pans out with doing the dog, etc., blah, blah, blah. I'm either going to wrestle myself every week and never be happy that I'm not doing these 1 hour 45 runs, or I've just got to resign to the fact that that's got to be split up over 2 runs. Mentally, that's a lot better for myself. A Garmin hack, I always set one of the data fields to lap pace. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's not your overall average pace. It's not your current speed, because that fluctuates all over the place. It's your average pace within the mile or the lap of your workout. So you can then course correct as you go. That is really save my bacon on, not save my bacon, but just being a little extra arrow in the quiver. When I've, say, been doing a marathon, I could have been running too fast within a mile, so I'll ease off, slow it down. I can see, London Marathon's a great example. They've got really big visible mile markers coming up from, you can probably see them for 200, 300 metres away, depending on the course. And I can either speed up if I want to, or I can slow down and give myself a little mini rest every mile, basically. And that for a road marathon, at least, that has been spectacular. And also another little Garmin hack, which I'm pretty sure most of our listeners do, but just set that reminder to eat. Set that timer to eat. It will give you a little nudge. It will remind you that maybe you've missed a gel, missed a whatever it is. And also, if that beeps and you're 2 miles from home, still take the gel. Still have something to eat, because that will help with your recovery. I don't always do it, This is best practice, I suppose, but they've been great for me. That data field, probably more applicable to road races, because on a trail.
I couldn't get less.
What about you?
So I had a big think about these while I was having a shower, just to set the scene. Things I do in my day-to-day life that won't affect a performance, but just make life a little bit easier. Things that I cut out the minute I had children was cool downs. Don't have time for them, Gary. I don't have time for 2 or 3 miles tacked on the end of a workout. I finish the workout and I stop. 2 or 3 minutes tops. Make any difference? Don't think so. Makes you a bit stiffer getting out of the car if you you just stop. I just don't have time. I prefer to spend more time doing my workout and warming up. I think I definitely would never not do a warm up. Oh my God. I prefer to spend 20, 30 minutes warming up, do the workout, and then just spend like 5 minutes jogging, than spend another 20 minutes on the back end. I only wash my kit, Gary. Well, I poo-pooed you at the sleeping in your kit, but I only wash my kit. I don't wash my pants and my sports bra and socks every
2 to 3 runs.
2 to 3
Filthy.
2 to 3 runs. You filthy hoe bag. You love it. I put it by the boiler and I've got a special rack for it.
Just to make the scent more
crusty.
juicy. Warm it up. Love it.
Warm it up. I always give myself 2 reps to warm up into for every interval session. So the first 2 reps do not count in any way apart from continuing warm up. I never push the pace. My best work is always done at the end of a session, and that is my life motto. My best work is not done at the end of the day. That's my worst work. But my best work will always be done. If you've handled the session well, your best work is always done at the end of the session, still running strong. Just like you, I often split my long runs. Try and get a long run in every 4 weeks, like a super long run. Finding that big time out of a busy day, week is hard. So again, since I've had kids, often my long run can be split up into 2 hours, maybe in the morning, half an hour in the evening, hour in the morning, hour in the evening, so that I still get a big volume day, but I'm not going to find the time to do that. I just think you do you. Whatever works, better to get it done. Doesn't matter how it looks. Last one. This is one for you, Gary. Chocolate milk in the fridge. Always have a cup
Strawberry.
of... Oh, is that your choice? I have the Alpro soya chocolate milk. Deb's put me onto it. It is incredible. It's the best chocolate milk, and I literally drink a gallon of it every day.
I like a
Well, let's
Friggy.
be honest. A Friggy, they're good too. Chocolate milk's such a great recovery. Underrated recovery. Go back in, get that around my lips. I'm good for anything.
Ali Dixon. I remember Ali Dixon when I used to listen to Marathon Talk and other things that she'd be on. Chocolate milk was always in her fridge. I think another good thing you can do, and I noticed this a few weeks ago when we were in the lakes, totally unwittingly, we coincided our long run and we overlapped a race. We had a little ready-made cheer squad. We're saying, well done. We weren't even doing the race.
Long run on the reverse of a race.
People were opening gates for us. It was incredible. Also, a bit of intel. If you need a wee, the staff in a pub are less observant than the staff in a cafe. And you often have to ask for a key for a wee in a cafe. Dive in a Witherspoons. No one will notice. And if you are standing in a queue in a...
God, this isn't the top 5. This is Gary's.
If you're in a queue, could be Greg's or Tesco, just do some dynamic stretches. Buy a brick. That'll save your life. Oh my goodness.
Gary, stop it. How is your brick going? I thought about you the other day as I bricked myself for the day. You still using it?
Yeah. When I appreciate there's a pinch point or a distraction, then yeah, I'll brick it. I can just leave it in the kitchen, to be fair, the phone. But bricking it up, like I've said before, it just gives you that little layer of friction between you and the dirty good stuff on Instagram.
I've got the worst view. My diary it's crammed, Gary, and it's not with anything fun. It's like this, that, Christmas jumper, Christmas party, nativity play, make mince pies. Everybody who's a parent knows that the next few weeks, Helen, you're going to forget something and you're going to drop that child at school and see everybody in some sort of tinsel and go,
Oh, imagine that.
How much would you pay to have, if you could pay for anybody to do a service around your house, like gardener, housekeeper, PR, what would you
gardener.
pay? Would you have a gardener?
Yeah.
I'd have a chef. I've said that before. My chef.
I love a
would
chef.
be. Chef would.
Oh.
But who is it that does your life assistance? Is that PA? A PA? It's not PR,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I eat that as well. Tell me what I need to do today, and they'd be like, "We've ordered that for you. We've done the Christmas presents. I've wrapped them for." Oh my God.
But the garden that's very front facing. Everybody can see it. While, nobody knows our Hoover lives at the bottom of the stairs.
Apart from the 10,000 people that listen to this. Hopefully feeling a little bit fresher. I don't know. I think this is the season, isn't it? Of like, it's dark, it's cold, everybody's got colds. I don't think you're ever going to feel really good in this month. I think it's about just putting those sessions in day after day. They're not very fun. They're a bit dull. I'm by myself. Nobody will talk to me. I'm making everybody join me for various Swift rides so that they'll talk to me. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm hopefully going to be able to go down and meet the World Heart Runners crew. They are all going to Malaga Marathon, Gary. This is your dream.
I want some intel. I want to know how good it is.
And they're doing their last marathon paced session. They were going to do 20 miles on a track, and they were like, "Do you want to come down for your birthday run and do it with
Screw
us?"
that.
And I was
Oof.
like, that is like the worst birthday present ever. But now they've changed it, and they said, "Okay, we'll run round a lock. Would you like to come? And we'll give you suit." I'm slightly nervous. I'm not going to be able to run fast enough for Debs's marathon pace.
All these marathon
Keep up with
paced runners, yeah.
just
You'd be all
stuff
right.
McCarbons, Gary. Definitely getting the old tip tappers out.
You'll be on sports shoes later on.
Too right, using that
Black
code.
Friday.
Special shoes just for the run. So I'm not sure. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get there. It might be a bit of wrangling with the kids.
Might put the Christmas lights up this weekend.
Stop it. No Christmas.
They'll be coming down from the loft. I think the paraphernalia will be coming down from the loft. Hopefully, I'll shake this cold. I'm feeling better than I was at the
You look
weekend. A lot better. Yeah. Well, Trish said I jaundiced when I spoke to her on the Zoom call the other week. There's a little whisper of a Moors trip on Friday. We will see, and just getting familiar with the new gym. I need a little school day on the treadmill so I can work out what all the buttons do. I've already booked next week's spinning class.
Can you take me a
wait.
picture of you all in the spinning class?
Dripping with sweat. What a sight.
Straight backyard.
Straight on Patreon for that.
Oh gosh, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Share the pod, share the love. Hey, little Christmas present. I had a thought about this. If you think, I don't want to join Patreon, I don't need those discount codes. Why I like to spend all the money on everything. I like to give money away. Well, instead of joining Patreon, you could just tell a friend about the pod. Running along, pass a runner, get hold of their phone, take it off them. You don't need to explain why. Just take their phone and put it on. They'll be listening to something, nice, easy run. Put tea and trails. Popping in Chinese takeaway, I reckon they'd be up for that, having that on the loudspeaker.
That's next week's top
Tesco's.
5. Top 5 Chinese takeaway meals.
Ooh, that I feel I'm not going to bring much to that top 5. Top 5 post-run snacks. Just rub
Anything.
chocolate milk all over me. Anyway, thanks to X Miles for Simple Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running, and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. Here are the discount codes: T10 2025 for Shocks, T15 for Protein Rebel, T-Time 2025 for Simple Hydration, and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thank you to our partners and Patreons. We could not do this without you and your ongoing support.
There is a Shocks Mega Black Friday Bonanza. Big savings over on Shocks, but you can't. I think they've turned off the Shocks discount code, so you can't double discount. But either way, yeah, lots of savings
No double
over
dipping.
there.
There's no double dipping around here anyway.
Double
No,
dipping.
no.
Good luck to everybody out on the trails. Racing, training, recce's or solo miles with mates. I checked my extensive Excel spreadsheet. I couldn't see. Obviously, there will be a race this weekend, but I
think
couldn't
so much
see.
recceing and last long runs are going on for Winter Downs 200, Winter Downs 100, and for the spine races. Maybe for the Cheviot Coat as well, but I think people are knee deep on that Pennine Way or down on the Vanguard Way for the last big.
Lots of
first
soaking
big
wet
hurrah.
trails.
So many purchases of waterproof gloves as they realise nothing is waterproof and nothing works.
Let the trail or tarmac rise to meet you, and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to future self, breathe and believe. Roll with the joy, and the miles will look after themselves. And if all else fails, chase the ball. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was the Tea and Trails podcast. What's his name? Adam Buxton. He always does a big bye at the end of his podcast.
What does he do? Bye.
Bye!
Bye.